which is this Valentine's Day box. You can only pick one. No, don't go. Just claim it. Or just know which one it is. And you can only pick one path.
Charlie.
Only one.
Hi, Charlie.
Does everyone have the path? Okay. So now, these logs that I am putting in your paths are setbacks that you cannot, they are obstacles that you cannot jump over, you cannot crawl under, you cannot go through, and basically there's no way you can get around them at all. So, now that they're in front of everyone's path, whose plans have been messed up? Everyone's. This just goes to show that literally if you pick one path to get to the treasure chest, you're not going to get to the treasure chest. Or in a less literal way, it's the lesson that I learned at Alzar school this semester. If you only limit yourself to seeing one possible plan and outcome, when a small and uncontrollable setback is thrown your way, you'll not be prepared to jump over that obstacle. Thinking flexibly. It's something that I personally have always struggled with. Before improving upon it here at Alzar school, whenever I was outlining something, I wanted to have a specific, unchangeable plan that I could follow throughout the entire time that I was in a leadership position. However, I soon discovered that no matter how many minute details I accounted for in my plans, there was still the possibility that something uncontrollable could foil them, and that I wouldn't be prepared for if my plans were too rigid. This realization occurred to me very abruptly during my experience as LOD on the California backpack trip. The night before it was my turn to be LOD, I had everything planned out for the next day. We were going to go for a solo hike, group back together, hike until lunch, eat lunch, and then hike until we reached Granite Lake, where we would calmly set up camp because we would arrive before dark. As approximately half of you probably vividly remember, this is not at all what ended up happening. When I woke up on the morning of my LOD experience, I was very excited because I knew my inspiring vision was spot on. I had everything planned out, and because of that, nothing could have gone wrong. At least that's what I thought. Although I would have scored an A+ on my 10 elements rubric under the category of inspiring vision, an F would have most likely been the letter looming over the resiliency and resourcefulness column. For inspiring vision, one subcategory on the rubric states creation of a detailed daily group plan. I had that in the bag. However, under resiliency and resourcefulness, it states flexibility and ability to deal with adversity. I had not thought at all about what would happen if my plan didn't go as I had hoped it would. It was not until I was freezing cold and squatting in an extremely uncomfortable position that I realized this. Lightning position. No, I was not calmly setting up camp at a beautiful, warm lake like I had so optimistically planned. My original outline of the day did not cover a thunderstorm in a field group shelter, which is acceptable because no one can predict the weather in the backcountry, except maybe Mr. Space Weatherman Isaac Goldstein. However, what it did lack was flexibility. If I had been thinking flexibly when planning the day, I would have been prepared to face adversity, and without hesitation, because I would have been accepting to a change in plans. In this situation, I was not accepting to a change in plans because my time frames on my original plan were unyielding, and I didn't want to mess up my entire outline of my day. If I had given my rigid time frames some room to breathe, it would have been easier for me to react when disaster, in my eyes at the time, struck. Here I discovered that if I set an unchangeable time for each specific activity that I planned, I won't be prepared for hurdles that I very well may be forced to face. After learning this, I wondered if I could apply it in more daily life scenarios, rather than just planning it on an expedition like the California one, because even though that's nice to know, I won't be in that situation very often. Coming back to Alzar School campus, I realized that in fact this lesson pertains to many more situations than I had originally thought. I found myself applying my flexible thinking when planning much smaller events, such as my homework routine, and even the time that I wake up in the morning. If I create a specific unbending plan with time frames for how long each of my homework assignments are going to take, I won't be successful. This is because one assignment could take longer than I had planned, and then my entire schedule would be messed up. Instead, I now make a rough layout of when I want to do my assignments and provide some extra buffer time so that my plan is more flexible. For example, as I was writing this speech that I'm currently reciting to you, I was called downstairs to shovel snow. If my homework plan was still extremely rigid with no extra flexibility time, my speech would have been over 3 minutes ago. I also found myself implementing this new way of thinking when planning when I'm going to wake up in the morning. If I only set one alarm, as many of us so wonderfully demonstrated last week, I'm not going to wake up. However, if I make a plan in which I set an alarm as well as make sure my year mates have set theirs, I always wake up when I need to. My flexible thinking has benefited me ever since I learned its importance in California, and will continue to benefit me for the future. When I arrive back in Atlanta, I plan on utilizing this skill as much as possible in all of the different aspects of my life. I will begin by administering this way of thinking into my academics at school, similar to what I just explained about planning my homework here at Alzar School. This will be extremely helpful because it will allow me to get my homework done on time with a little bit of a cushion in case something doesn't go as planned. I will also employ this skill in my life to balance my busy schedule. Many times on the weekends I will have plans with someone to meet up and discuss something important. However, very often my soccer game will get moved to the exact same time frame that I was planning on being with them. If I make my original plans more flexible, I will be able to change the plans in order to see them at another time, as well as get to play my soccer game. This will be beneficial to me being able to manage the jam-packed activities that are present in my life. In addition to implementing this skill in my daily life, I've also applied it while working on my CLP, and will continue to use it for the rest of the process. When creating the CLP plan, I thought flexibly by making sure I'm accepting a possible adversity. Because of this, I have an outline that I would like to go as planned, but recognize that it is not probable for everything to be 100% perfect. I made the plan so that I know what would happen if someone gets injured, if there's a thunderstorm, or even a significant lack of participants. Thinking flexibly will facilitate this project because I will be prepared to face any obstacles that I may encounter, and I will confront these obstacles without worry because I will be willing to change my plans if necessary. So now, knowing what I've just told you about creating a flexible plan, I want you to outline your entire expedition to get to this treasure chest. That means, and pretend these logs aren't here anymore, that means making backup plans and thinking flexibly and having some buffer time in case something goes wrong. Go.
But we should also take 45, 50 trail on the we have 3
and lots of
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, you guys have your expedition planned out? Okay, so now, when I throw obstacles on a couple of paths, say 4. Now, even though your original plan may have been foiled, hopefully you learn the importance of thinking flexibly to still be able to reach your goal, just like I did during my time as LOD in California. Thank you. Woo!